I've hacked now. He still has the tag. All right. Obviously, it's not Friday. I tore out the wiring in my shop on Friday, so I didn't have any lighting in here. And I finally got it back to the point where I could plug it back in, kind of. It's getting there. The Makerspace is going to be gorgeous when it's done, but it's currently in an advanced state of in the middle. So, Fanmail, Friday, Q&A. We're calling it Friday. It's actually Saturday. Years from now, you won't know the difference. A week from now, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference unless you looked at the times or the date it was uploaded on, in which case, you need a new hobby. All right. Events. There's a Nerf War tomorrow.
Yes.
Pan War at Fort Borst in Centralia. I'll be going to that and probably just lying in the shade and longing for the sweet release of death. Next big event I'm going to is I am going to the Nerfing for Autism event in North Carolina.
When's that?
September 22nd.
Oh, that's not that far away.
No, it's sneaking up. I've got my ticket for it and everything. After that, we've got Ragnar Oktoberfest down in California. We're all going to be going to that, or at least a bunch of us will be. That should be a lot of fun. And of course, as I mentioned, the Makerspace is coming along slowly but surely. I've gotten my workshop area of it pretty much done at this point, other than the rewire, but I've started that now. And then I'm starting on the part that is the actual Makerspace. Started getting the pegboard up that is going to have a really cool collection on it when it's all said and done, and then I will start actually building the actual Makerspace work tables and getting all of that. Hopefully, eventually I'll get that shipping container. Yes! I plan to put ventilation in the shipping container so my blasters don't melt. Thank you very much. Alright. Questions.
I have to answer questions?
Oh, yes.
Oh, well.
I'm going to I will not be answering any of these questions, even if they're specifically clearly meant for me.
I will answer them on your behalf.
Indeed. Johnny Blaze asks, would you ever travel to Australia?
He would travel to Australia.
I would. In fact, I plan to next year.
You're not supposed to be answering the questions.
I'm elucidating.
Fair enough. He would be willing to. If you want to send me with him, I'd highly recommend doing that.
That would be neat.
It would be neat. Get most of the crew to
I don't
Australia.
know if we actually introduced you. This is Sergeant Lance, also known as Sergeant Deplorable. He developed the Deplorable that was on Walcom's channel, the flywheel Vulcan that I need to get around to getting my my Squad Assault Vulcan upgraded. I hear there's now I hear there's now a kit on Thingiverse.
Yeah, you just print it all out and just shove a strife gauge in it. And
I do have the files for RE Armory's Vulcan barrel.
Oh, the
one that's built onto tier. I have the files that are designed to just drop into the Vulcan. But I don't have his permission, so I should probably ask if he doesn't mind if I make another one.
Probably.
It was given to me specifically to build tier, because tier. All right.
Yeah.
Yes, I plan to go to Australia next year. I also plan to go to England next year. I'm hoping to go to Foam Fest in England early next year, and then probably aiming towards our summer going to Australia, because that's their winter.
Sure. So you
and
might survive.
I don't want to go to Australia in the summer. I would die. I will go in winter when it's, like our summer. I heard that it does get kind of cold there. I don't know.
Like 65?
Probably something like
okay.
that.
So you'd still be in t-shirt and shorts.
Most likely. And they'll be, wearing a parka, and I'll be going, what? All right. Jacob MF. Are you going to Area 51 with tier? No. But seriously, what are your thoughts on the whole Area 51 debacle?
It made for fun memes.
Debacle is a good word.
It is. Agreed.
Yes.
Excellent choice. By now, everybody has... anything there of importance is gone.
Most likely. They've moved everything to... They've relabeled Area 52 Area 51. It'll be a diversion. You're aiming for Area 53 now. That's where they keep the aliens.
53B.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Robo Knight 5000. Have you ever played Army of Two?
I have. I think it's an excellent game.
Oh.
It's good co-op gameplay, and when you have a younger brother, it makes sharing the Xbox a lot easier.
That's a much better answer than mine, which is just, no. But that is what my heavy loadout was inspired by. When I added the neck armor and that particular mask, it was because of the pictures of Army of Two. Never actually played it, but it looked cool. Like, I want that. So I made it. All right. Jacob MF again.
He's got a lot of questions there.
Please reach out to Epic Armory Unlimited and do some reviews for them. They do high-quality LARP swords and other gear. I will have to look into that. Would love it if they would send me stuff. Or if they have any stuff I really, really want, I'll just throw money at them. Lord Angelus. What is the name of the Prometheus? That Prometheus is named Frigga for reasons that are not likely to become apparent anytime soon. Trapped in the Matrix. Do you watch Critical Role?
I do, yes. One episode behind at the moment, this last Thursday's.
Again,
your answer.
much more interesting than mine. No. I've heard about it, I hear it's fantastic, and that I should watch it, but I'm building a workshop, so I don't get to watch much of anything that I actually want to watch. I put noise on at night to go to sleep, but I feel Critical Role would probably result in really weird dreams.
I can't imagine it'd be sound sleep.
Alchemist Tyrant. I like it.
Yeah.
If you had all the time, money, and other resources in the world for one build, what would that blaster look like?
It would look like a vehicle capable of taking me off the planet Earth, traveling to another system, and living there peacefully for the rest of my life.
Well.
Given the resources.
Given the resources that are clearly available here, yes, it would be a hover tank of some sort. No, seriously, tier, honestly. There really weren't any limitations to the funding and time. It took me a year to build, and I have no idea how much money I ended up putting in. Not actually as much as you'd think, because, like, the backpack is from Goodwill, the minigun was from Goodwill, the barrel, I mean, all of the tools and stuff. Train! The difference is that if I had all the resources in the world, it would be attached to a half-track. With another one right next to it in a dual turret setup. It would also be on, about 100 acres of land with a shop twice the size of this that was built for me by somebody else. Instead of me having to do it.
Turnkey, right? You walk in and it's already done for you.
Yeah. But that really was my dream build, and it's built now, and I kind of don't know what to do with myself now. That's not true. I know exactly what my next big build is going to be. I just need to finish, building the makerspace so I can build it. Yumi 650. What is the most bizarre, interesting blaster from Nerf, X-Shot, Dart Zone, etc. that you have seen somebody use at an event or war?
So we're talking it has to be production, not a mod.
I don't think that would be a really boring question.
Yeah.
Because those are just all stock blasters. I'm gonna go with modded, and I'm gonna go with the God Slayer, the single ultimator from inside a box being used by Luchathor 13. Wasn't there like a 3-man crew using it at one point?
There was. It was Cameron, Luchathor, and Nick. Nick being the tripod for it. I think Cameron was charging it with the handle, and Luchathor was actually loading it and then aiming it down range.
Yeah, so imagine an ultimator with a singled brass barrel that's like 3 feet long, 4 feet long.
Yeah, he didn't bother cutting the brass.
Yeah, I couldn't be bothered. So, yeah, it's absurd and fantastic.
When was he hiding in the box with it?
At one of the wars, he works in a warehouse, so he had a refrigerator box or something that he then had a 3-foot ultimator barrel sticking out of as he's trundling around snake style. Fantastic. Whacking Tadpole. What blaster on the wall behind you is your favorite?
I think we answered this one.
Well, this is your question now.
I mean, it's we've already answered this one. It's probably tier. I mean,
for me, it is still Ire, though Ire needs a massive internal upgrade. I built Ire before I had any idea what I was doing. All of the wiring needs to be replaced. It needs to get upgraded to 3S, if not 4S. I don't want to do a fancy breach, though I've been told that the new 50th anniversary Stampedes are upgraded. So I may have to get one just to take the breach and the motor and whatnot out of it. And then metal gears and do a complete rewire. And there's a couple of features I want to add.
There's
muzzle flash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, apparently the ammo counter has a circuit built in to do muzzle flash. Because it was originally that ammo counter design was meant to go in cosplay pulse rifles.
Okay.
Is what he actually designed it for, the Aliens pulse rifles. And so it has a circuit where you just connect this to positive and negative to here, and it will make an LED flash. Like, oh.
It's there.
Yeah, I'd like to put it so it makes just that little bit right there flash. Replace possibly that with like red, so it'll flash a little bit brighter. But yeah, Ire is still my favorite. Tyr is a real close second. Because Tyr is just
gorgeous.
Cool.
It's a minigun.
Yeah.
That functions like a minigun.
Yeah.
But,
Arrow rotates and everything.
Yeah. With an underslung
rocket. With an underslung bazooka, because every minigun should have an underslung bazooka. John Jackson, do you work out?
I'm not going to answer that one on camera.
I do not. I run around doing Nerf, and I'm currently building a shop, which I've probably lost 5 pounds just in sweat. And if not, how do you build up your strength? Because Tyr looks heavy. Tyr itself, the blaster is not nearly as heavy as you'd think because it's mostly plastic. And the battery isn't in the blaster, the battery is in the backpack. The backpack is kind of heavy because it's got 2,000 rounds and several large motors and the huge lipo. But yeah, the minigun isn't nearly as heavy as you'd think. It does have a fair number of motors. I mean, it has the barrel rotation motor, it's got the 2 flywheel motors, it's got the automated pump motor, and the barrel, this barrel made it much heavier than it was originally. But luckily there is a sling that attaches it to either to my vest or to the backpack, which takes a lot of the weight. Aha! Ha! Logan Kunkel. Are you planning on buying any of the Stampedes Nerf has made for their 50th anniversary? Well, we answered that one already. Also, are you planning on getting the Nerf Titan minigun? Yes. What about you?
Probably not.
Probably not. I want 2. One to heavily modify, and one to either leave stock or lightly modify. But mostly I'm after the drum because Ire deserves the 50-round drum. She was supposed to have one from the beginning, and by God, she will.
Hasbro.
And then I want, of course, I need the second one to, swap out.
It's tempting, actually, but then I'd have a whole blaster hanging around that I just don't need.
Yeah, and I did see it. I saw wall comms, and it's skinny. Like from the side, it looks great, but it's skinny. Like you can get 3 fingers into the carry handle skinny. Like it looks like it was squished.
Well,
whereas Tyr is not skinny. Tyr is beefy. But yeah, it's a minigun that's as wide as a Stampede.
Oh, that's... Yeah. Well, that's just begging for 2 of them side by side.
Exactly. It needs,
and then a reverse 35-round drum on either side, and then...
Or angle the torso so that you can get the 50s in.
I like your plan a lot better. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Somebody make it happen.
I may do that instead.
Mounted on
the other thing that I wanted to do was make a minigun rifle. So move a handle so that it's... Put a handle and then put a stock on it, so you can load the magazine like you, because it's from underneath. It's ridiculous.
So like,
I think there's one in Fallout.
Probably, and I think World War I Germany had a machine gun that had a buttstock on it, and
nonsense.
Everybody
pretty
tried
much
it
like the Lewis gun.
Yeah, that's
basically, but with a minigun barrel.
Because it looked cooler.
Yeah. Ultimate Armories. What is the strongest spring I can put in an Elite Alpha Trooper without having to replace the priming bar? I haven't the foggiest idea. Probably not much more than 7, I would think.
I think 7 and 8 is pushing it. I know 6 you'll be safe. 6 you should be safe with.
Yeah, I think I've got either a 5 or a 6 in the one that I use for Wars. And I don't have a replacement priming bar as far as I know. It's just got an Ord's Modworks kit. It might only be a 5 in mine, though.
Possibly.
But I don't know. Patrick Turtle. Do you play trading card games like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic the Gathering?
No, I do not.
I used to play the Pirates Constructible strategy game, and I do still have all of the cards. I just haven't played it in years, which is a tragedy because it was a really fun game. Do you think a Nerf series based around Nordic gods? I would rather they didn't, because that's what I name my blasters off of, and I'd rather not have, some cheap, poorly designed thing called Tyr that would just annoy me.
Tyr is a 6-shot, non-revolving. It's manual.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that. They have branched into the Roman gods. And they've gotten more and more obscure with the Norse or the Greek pantheon, because they started doing Titans rather than just the Olympians. I always have to explain that to people because I referred to Atlas as a god, and they're like, he wasn't a god, he was a Titan. I'm like, yeah, they're still gods, they're just not the Olympians. The Titans were the gods that came before the Olympians. Read a book, people. Anyway, yeah, I hope they don't. And they probably will, because they're going to run out of Roman gods eventually.
If they're still rival blasters, though, would that at least lessen the blow to you if they're all rivals?
If they came out with a if they came out with a rival minigun and named it tier, I would actually be okay with that, just because I know the truth, and you all know the truth, and Hasbro knows the truth. Yeah. Todd Gibbs. Would it be practical to dig a trench since you already have to level the ground anyway? No. No. I did try to build a trench once when I was very young and still thought World War I was cool. Turns out digging trenches is hard.
It's a lot of dirt.
There's a reason we have tractors now.
What is there reference? Is that in reference to something else? Were you trying to dig a trench for level?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I assume a defensive World War I style trench, and no.
It would be neat, but I want to use an excavator to do it.
Yeah, no, I'm going to build forts instead. They're more fun. They don't fill with mud when it rains, which it does here in the Northwest, because we're in a rainforest. I would very quickly have a pond, a very long, narrow pond, with Nerf darts floating in it. What?
A moat.
A moat would be kind of fun.
It would be moat during the winter and a trench when it dries out every 5 years.
Yeah, for those 2 days during the summer.
Yeah.
Shadow Master Onyx. How did you get so good at modding?
I've broken a lot of blasters.
So aren't you an engineer?
Debatable.
Yeah.
My job title says I'm an engineer. The degree I have from college says I'm an engineer. But as far as modding goes, I've broken a lot of blasters.
I haven't broken a whole lot, but research is the biggest one. Do a lot of research. Figure out exactly what you're going to be doing. Has anybody done it? Do they have any videos on it? Watch the videos. Practice things like soldering. For the longest time, I was soldering wrong, and then found somebody who knew how to solder who went, "You're doing that wrong." And I went, "What?" And they went, "It should be like this." Oh! Well, that's way easier than I've been doing it. Show me that again. Got it, okay. But yeah, research is really the big part. Just about while the specific integration or whatever that you're trying to do may not have been done, the techniques for integration have been very well worked out and practiced. Mr. Nathan can teach anything you would ever need to know about doing shell integrations.
Watch any of his live streams for 30 minutes of it, and you're going to have...
For wiring, I've done a whole series on how to do the circuits, and then I've got wiring diagrams that you can look at. I need to redo those using the actual picture of the blaster, so it shows where the wires should be routed, which I think has confused a number of people, because it's vaguely where they're supposed to be, but it's not exactly. And I think it would actually be even better if I ran it that way. Audric Morton.
Interesting name.
Yeah. If I could inquire your opinion, Captain, what strife mods would you suggest for a pair of strifes? One will be a rifle configuration, and the other will be a pistol. He's mentioned that they're being used for HVZ and casual wars. So depending on how casual you want to get, probably a 2S build would keep it under whatever the cap is. And also you definitely aren't going to want to use a high crush cage, because that's going to definitely put you over. Something like Michelle 2s with heavier wheels will generally get the FPS down a little bit as well. But that's you can just get an open flywheel cage, the heavier wheels like the Insantatu.
No, those are really light.
Oh, those light ones? What are the heavy ones? The Containment Crew ones?
Containment Crew's heavier. Bulldogs. I don't know who makes them. I can't remember who makes them off the top of my head.
I've got Michelle 2s and Bulldogs in my auto stripes, and they push 140, which is generally higher than most HVZs are going to allow. If they have a really low cap, honestly, two IMRs and 2 dummies will give you a slight boost. It'll get you to about 100.
Which, if you're playing HVZ...
Yeah, the
is
downside
more
is
than enough.
2 IMRs don't have a particularly long battery life.
No.
So, I mean, you're either going to want to have extra batteries, or you could modify the tray to have 2 sets of 2.
Oh, I like that.
So you have two in serial in parallel, which will double the capacity that you have without increasing the voltage. Which I actually really want to do that now. Somebody mentioned it in a build, or actually asked it in I think it was a video recommendation.
Oh, was how to...
Yeah, so if usually you've got the 4 batteries that are in one long serial. If you cut the connector between the 2 pairs, you could then wire those together, or the positives together and the negatives together, and it would give you 2 in parallel in serial, which would give you a lot more capacity. It would give you a lot more amperage, which is one of the biggest downsides of IMRs and the AA size, is they don't have as much current, which can be a problem. But if you double the number of them that are in parallel, it will double your capacity while not increasing the voltage. And at that point, you'd have 7.4 volts on motors that are meant to run 6, so it is an increase, not enough to damage them, but you do have more than enough capacity at that point, enough current to be able to run them fairly well. You'd need to disable the thermistor, but other than that,
I mean,
that would be the simplest.
Yeah.
Depending on how heavily you want to go into the modding. But you could do... Depending on how you're planning to run this loadout, I would do if you want to get a little more complicated, I would do the rifle as semi-auto and the pistol as full auto, but with a relatively low rate of fire. So your main blaster that you're shooting at Zeds, when you're taking your time and you're not being horribly rushed, 1 shot per Zed, so you're not running out of ammo. But in the event of a big rush, you've got the sidearm that you can just unload a 20 or whatever you've got. I usually
18.
have a 25 in my oh crap auto strife, because that's not so bulky that it's a problem in the holster, but that's a lot of ammunition to be able to lay down all at once. So yeah, auto kits, there's ones on Thingiverse, Lytake and NF Strike, they sell several different auto kits, all of which are fairly good at this point. If you want to, depending on your budget, that's the one thing I don't know is what your budget is.
Which informs a lot of decisions.
Yeah, because the rifle would another thing you can do with the rifle is go with a select fire kit. So you have the semi-automatic capacity, so you don't waste your ammunition, but you can switch over to full auto when you need it. At which point I wouldn't make the sidearm full auto, I would make it just semi-auto, so that if you really need the extra firepower, you can use both. That's the beauty of the Strife. You can dual wield and have the rifle then spewing full auto and the pistol doing semi-auto to pick off stragglers or whatever, to be able to put out a ridiculous amount of firepower for one person really, really quick, but without the risk of wasting ammunition putting 3 darts into every single Zed.
Aha, I have hit this Zed 5 times and his 4 buddies over there have eaten me.
They're going to eat you, yeah. All right.
Good question.
Yeah. Griffin Hall. Would it be possible to visit you if I flew in from Michigan to mod some blasters at some point time in the future? Do you accept guests at your place?
Currently, I will not be accepting guests at my place. It's not large enough for people to visit. He, on the other hand, may eventually in the future let people come here. I mean, he let me here, so I guess the standard's somewhere?
Yeah. Yes, the Makerspace, once it is fully up and running, which I'm hoping will be in the next month or 2, it will be public. And arrangements can be made to come visit. You will have to make arrangements to make sure I'm not busy that weekend or whatever. But yeah, it will be open to the public, and I'm looking forward to hosting lots of big events here, both with our local group as well as someday hosting slightly larger events. Never going to have anything as big as like Ragnar Oktoberfest or End War, because I don't have that much land. I have 2.5 acres, and that would probably comfortably allow 100 people event, maybe, at most.
That would be...
if they were really spread out, which There are multiple very distinct areas that you could have multiple stuff going on. But, or if you broke them into groups and sent them off on side quests to different locations or something like that. But yeah, I will be hosting major mod parties, especially once the weather gets too damp to be running around outside. It does get cold and this place isn't insulated, but it does have a wood-burning stove that I am assured will heat the place. So that'll be interesting. Or layers. Just put on some layers.
Get enough people in here.
The Tribunal of the Imagination. It's a great handle. Have you read any of the Discworld novels? And if so, what is your favorite?
No.
Alright, I get to have the interesting question. Yes, I have read a great deal of the Discworld, or rather, I've listened to a great deal of the Discworld. I think I've only actually read one. I think I read Thud. But then I've listened to just about all of them at this point. And I don't have a favorite, but The Watch. Anything that involves The Watch, or just the whole Watch story arc in general, is definitely my favorite. I have been compared to Vimes more than once, and I'm very okay with that.
Is the Watch the same story with the Hogfather, and is that right?
That's Discworld, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, the Hogfather is from Discworld. And in fact, in the book The Hogfather, the Watch comes up in one of the most magnificent and hilarious scenes ever, where Death has taken the place of the Hogfather, because the Hogfather, I don't remember why, but he's gone, and so Death takes over and is doing the whole Santa at the mall gig, except he's actually giving out the presents because he's Death and can just do that. So one girl, that's where the scene where the little girl asks for a sword, and there's a sword. I'm like, but what if she hurts herself? That'll be a very good lesson. That's not safe. It's a sword. It's not supposed to be safe.
Okay, so clearly I need to read.
And eventually the Watch shows up because the store owner's like, the Hogfather, he's in there giving people presents! What do you want us to do? Arrest him! You want us to arrest the Hogfather? Yes! On Hog's Watch. Yes! In your shop. You think that'll look bad? I can't imagine how it'll look good. So finally the Watch goes in. He's like, alright, I'm going in. He goes in. Sitting on Death's lap. Who's dressed like Santa Claus, but as a skull. And it's Nobby Nobbs, who is... They're not sure what he is. He's not a dwarf. We're pretty sure he's human. He's just dwarf-sized. And is very... They made him a police officer because it was easier than having him as a criminal. And so he's in Death's going, all right there, young sir. Have you been a good individual? Yes. And what would you like? A few minutes later, he comes out carrying just an absolutely gorgeous crossbow. And the person he's with, who believes that the Hogfather is idolatry and is heresy or whatever, like, okay. This is the worship of idols. This is a burly, strong in the arm, cantilevered, double action crossbow with walnut stock and embossed silver facings. Aren't we going to arrest him? You're foreign washpot. I don't expect you to understand the true meaning of Hog's Watch. And off he goes.
So clearly I need to read these.
Yes, or watch them. There's some of them have been made into movies and are magnificent. That particular one has been made into a movie and is weird and bizarre, yes, because the Discworld is a disc floating through space on the back of 4 elephants standing on the back of a giant sea turtle. Because in an infinite universe, hypothetically, everything exists somewhere.
Where were we?
I have absolutely no idea.
Tribunal.
Blue Magma and the Model Railwayman.
These are very interesting handles.
Right? Have you thought about returning to Afterworlds as a new player character?
I have considered that as a possibility. At the moment, I didn't have the time to remove myself from work and still get paid, so that's on hold for the time being.
Then the next one is during Ragnarok Oktoberfest. We don't get to go to that one, so it won't be until next year if we get to go to another one.
And who knows?
I've considered it, but honestly, I generally enjoy playing an NPC much better because I've always liked storytelling. And that's what you get to do when you're the NPC is you get to be part of the story and help everyone have a lot more fun, whether they want to or not.
I have to agree. The last time I got to go, the only time I've gotten to go, I was able to help be an NPC, and I had more fun on that trip than I have in a long time.
It was good stuff. Dakota Orfield, how are you personally?
Personally, I'm doing pretty well. Can't complain about where I'm at this stage in life. You know, things are going pretty well for me. I'm here in Captain's shop. I'm getting to help put this place together, so I can't complain.
He helped with the painting. He helped with the putting plywood up. He helped with a great deal of it, which I appreciate a great deal. I'm looking forward to it being available.
I cannot wait for it to be done. It's going to look amazing.
It's going to look amazing, and it's going to be so much fun.
More.
Yeah, I mean, we had a decent mod party when we just had my fold-out tables out. Once there's 8 full workstations plus tables, mod parties will actually involve a lot more modding, I'm hoping.
Blasphemy.
Right? Mostly it's just us goofing around. Occasionally some work gets done, but it's...
Jose got something done. So we had the one...
Yeah, Jose managed to get the
Eagle,
Fortnite Desert Eagle thing to hit 285 FPS. He broke my dart net. I'm very annoyed about that. I'm going to have to replace the back wall with like metal chicken wire, and he'll probably put a hole through that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm good. I bought a house way sooner than I was expecting to, and the shop is everything that I was hoping it would be, and it's rapidly becoming everything that I want it to be, and then some. Yeah. Ha! Ha! Still hit it! Probably would have missed if you hadn't interfered.
I was merely aiming to help, that's all.
Alright. Loot! Run for it! Oh, right then. Here we are, filming on my new workbench, which is solid and orange and lovely. I only have one item that I believe is actually fan mail. The rest is stuff that I've been sent or ordered that I just felt like showing off on camera because I can. We're going to start with this because I'm hoping it's what it is, and I kind of want to show it to him.
I'm intrigued. It's got a very nice flower on the back.
Does it?
Yes, it's lovely.
They are. So these metal gearboxes. Same gearbox, so I think it's a slightly lower gear ratio. But the gears are all metal. Except for the gear that's on here, which is annoyingly plastic. However, these ones are metal.
Well, there you go.
I've been having trouble with my auto kits.
Okay.
Stripping the gears. So I'm hoping that I can put these in. It'll have a slightly lower rate of fire, which is actually good because my dual auto strikes are 2-round burst. Minimum, and I'd like to get that to a point where it isn't. The bolter had a much better rate of fire because it has an adjustable kit in it. This, I think, would allow me to eliminate that adjustable kit, I'm hoping. So, apparently you can replace whatever motor you want in there. Just cut off the back and you can put the longer ones in, and then it still has the tabs for the rubber that comes with the other ones. Or just glue it in place. Or friction, who knows.
They're also, what, 130 size? Yeah,
they're 130s. But it is metal, which is much nicer. So, those I like.
Where did you find those?
Somebody, Luke, has actually been experimenting with them.
Okay.
And then it showed up on one of the Nerf boards. I want to say probably Mitch Essinger would be my guess. I think is where I got it. And I think he got it because he was having trouble with it in his big bolter. I could be completely wrong about that, though. Luckily, they provided the links to both of these.
And they were procured.
Yes, and they were then procured. Okay, let's take a look at this one. We have, if it's what I think it is, which I'm almost positive it is, we have plans to do something very silly with it after I do my slightly serious review. A number of other people have already done reviews, and my review isn't going to be really any different than any of theirs because, It's the flashbang. Yeah. I pretty much agree with everyone else's review of it does exactly what it's designed to do. For which there is no use in our hobby. Maybe in airsoft, but there's just... Drain! I can only think of a handful of... You'd have to have a specifically tailored scenario built entirely around this, and that's just not really practical.
And the consent of everybody playing.
Exactly, because the strobing nature of it and on all of that. Anyway, I'll get into all that in my review. I do have some things that I plan to do with it. Like I said, I've got a silly video I want to do using it, though I will probably, first thing I will do is open it up and clip the wire to the speaker. Because the blinking I don't mind nearly as much as the noise. Alright, let's take a look at this one. I believe this is another item I've been sent to review that I have long since completely forgotten about.
I'm gonna help you out here.
Oh! Thank you. Apparently it comes with a battery. Alright, yes, this is an upgrade kit for the Retaliator.
Why is that shiny?
Yeah. Coming the whole...
Is it a professionally made power stock? Is that what I'm looking at here?
Yeah. That's the main spring.
Man.
Yeah. Metal plunger tube.
Okay.
So expanded plunger tube, and power stock.
You're gonna have to modify this, maybe? No, it's all just
that. I'm pretty sure just this tube specifically is designed to fit into there.
There's.
Yep. You have to take the. Looks like you have to take the screws out, maybe. Or I'm just not putting it in correctly, but it does look.
And you've got all the bracing for.
Yep, bracing for the internals, O-rings, padded plunger head. This isn't metal, but it is
stout line.
Delrin, looks like.
Oh.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
It'll be fine. That's not ABS.
No. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. I'll need to figure out what I want to put it in.
I've got a Retaliator kit that looks gorgeous. It has nothing in it. If you'd like to, I will donate that to you to put it.
I'd say my prophecy is already pretty snazzy.
Oh, okay.
But I wouldn't mind building another Gear Up Retalicon with that kit.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
Yeah, so that is probably what will end up happening, because I'm pretty sure I've got 2 or 3 Gear Up Retaliators now. I think I've got 3.
Makes sense.
One of them is already a Retalicon.
Mm-hmm.
So,
One's probably stock.
That's going to be fun. And finally, we have an actual package from a fan. This is from a Zachary King. And I should remember what's in it, because I think he might have told me, or he might not have, and just numerous times alluded to the fact that he was sending me stuff. Apparently it's packed in old streamlines. That is awesome.
Labeled.
Labeled.
Yeah.
With Z's.
Or
N's. Or sloppy 2s. Or Harry Potter lightning bolts. I don't know.
I would wager...
Grab the... I have a drawer for streamlines and old whistlers and Velcro tips and... Alright, there appears to be a note. Dear Captain Xavier, how goes it? It goes well. I hope your casks of root beer are overflowing. My name is Zachary King. I'm approximately 19? 5'10". Interesting set of details. And I'll be following you through the realm of YouTube for quite a while. Not super long, but not super recent. I guess it's been at least a year? I'm not sure. But anyways, I found your videos to be endlessly entertaining, except when they're not. Well, some of them are meant to be fairly serious. And
some of them are
educational. Yes. And every once in a while I'm going, quit! being horrible people. But anyways, your silly antics are quite fascinating. Your love and dedication to your hobby is truly inspirational. In fact, you inspired me to get back into Nerf. Also, I used to constantly play with my friends in the dirtiest of basements, using only the darts that came with the blaster and spending more time looking for them than playing, and then having someone got a bag of darts, and then I got a stampede, and then we grew up. But now, I can successfully say that I have gone on to spend way too much on Nerf blasters that I rarely use. It's fantastic, right? Have you seen my mountain? Though all random dart wars that get started amongst my friends have become quite fun and entertaining, I do hope to start my own Nerf club eventually. I do have a video on that if you haven't already seen it. Just preparing for that. Thus, thank you. One of my favorite parts of your channel is the feeling that it's different. You tell stories, you make it personal, and you share your love and interest with the community. All of this despite it being a toy for a target demographic that you mostly, certainly, are not a part of. I object! It says 14 and up on the package, and I am up. You know who you are, and you're not afraid to yell it. Yes, I find that quite lovely. I have a few questions for you. Would it be possible to take a 5-gallon water jug and use it as an air tank? If someone were to randomly send you one, would you do that? It would depend on the construction of the jug. They're generally not designed to hold pressure. They're designed to hold water. You could. I don't know how useful it would be, because getting a reasonable PSI in a 5-gallon jug and then having it release would be interesting, but I mean, it's certainly...
What's the jug made out of?
Exactly,
as you're stressing it to X
the
amount of PSI.
The big one is... Yeah, I mean, you're going to need to get it to at least 45 to 70 PSI, and I have no idea if a jug can take that or what would happen. Probably it would explode.
Could probably do it once.
Yeah. Have you ever experienced a Chick-fil-A sandwich? I'm a leader in training at Chick-fil-A in the Chicagoland area, and I've always wondered if you had visited one. I have not. I have not. This may be a more personal question, so do feel free to not answer it, but what is your faith? Question 4. I recently acquired a painted Straven. A painted Straven at one of your local Goodwills? Who donates a Straven to Goodwill? I have
They
so
were
many
making
questions.
a good decision.
They were. I have so many questions. I'm not particularly fond of the paint scheme, and I'm looking to repaint. Besides sanding the blaster like crazy, are there any methods you would recommend to remove the current paint job? Sanding like crazy.
You could always follow the Edith approach and just put another layer on.
Yeah, there you go. Just add another layer. It'll be fine. No, there really is no easy way to get around. You need to sand it, unfortunately. You're just going to have to deal with that. Go to Home Depot and get the rubbery sandpaper. There's stuff where rather than being on paper, it's on like a rubber almost.
No.
And it's the best sandpaper I've ever used in my life. One, it'll get into all of the tiny cracks because it's rubbery instead of paper, so it doesn't crease. It also lasts forever. I was at one sheet of that. I was able to sand a strife flat. All of the checkered pattern, all of the images, and a rapid strike. When I did this, the Stampede strike, took the Nerf logo off, the name off, all of the Digicam, all of it off on one small sheet of sandpaper.
Okay, that's impressive.
Exactly. It's beautiful stuff.
Would a wire wheel on a Dremel?
That would cut holes.
Are there soft enough wire wheels, I guess?
No, I mean, you could do like a hand sander, like a disc sander, you might be able to, but you're still going to have to sand it. It's just the only way to get paint off. Paint is not supposed to come off easily. It's paint. Favorite band, album, and song? No. I don't have a favorite band. The Philharmonic? I couldn't name an album of anything.
An album? I can't name an album.
Yeah. And song? Simple Gifts. The Quaker hymn. Would you consider going to a war using nothing but old streamlined darts? I'm pretty sure I have at some point in my past. Again? I mean, sure. I mean, is there a reason I'm doing this? Is there an incentive, or is it just because? Because would be the better reason, honestly. I do have quite a few of them.
Yeah.
Some of them are left over from my first HVZ. I think some of those were run in that first one. There's a couple that are taped and have the straw upgrade and all of that.
I cannot fathom going back to a time where you spent 5 hours on 100 darts, putting a straw on it and taping them, and then doing that again and again and again.
Only to never get any of them back because people stole your upgraded darts.
Yep.
Alright. Within the dart refill pack, I've included a few goodies. 2 items I thrifted being unopened Vortex discs.
What?
Cool. As well as the dart gun that I haven't seen on K26 series. Also included is a Jolt that I won at Dave & Buster's, a bag of gummy bears that aren't as good as Albanese, but still pretty good. A few Lego figures, awesome, I have no use for, and one that I did but sacrificed anyway. Last but not least, I've included a bottle of root beer from the local Costco that will hopefully survive the journey. It does appear to have. It's not the best brand, but it is worthy. But it's a worthy, cheaper option for everyday root beer. I find Sprecher to be more of a special occasions root beer. Yeah, it really is. Thank you for what you've done for the community, for inspiring me to have more fun and spend more money. Not that that was your goal. Giving me a source of entertainment, for bringing me the joys of gummies and root beer. Thank you for having a Lego castle. Hope you have a lovely day. Zachary King. All right. Well, there's more darts. Give me
I mean, they're good packing material.
They are. You're making a mess. You achieved nothing.
I have caused chaos in this world.
There's more. Oh, good lord.
Ooh. A few minifigs.
There's nothing in here but stuff I want.
Awesome.
A skeletal horse.
Awesome.
3 regular skeletons. 1. I don't know what happened to him, but I like that hair.
Hair's cool.
A manta ray figure. Oh. He's got an excellent figure.
yes, he does.
Either that or she has some stubble. A beer, a dwarf, nice. Oh, the conquistador.
Does he have? He does have the rapier.
He does have his, yeah.
I don't know. Is he supposed to have that, or is he supposed to have something else?
He is. I don't think that's the face that he came with. Oh, we got another skeleton. We've got a ring wraith.
I think he came with the horse as well.
Probably. His hood doesn't want to stay on. I don't know what she is, but she's pretty cool. An eagle dude. That is not his head. There we go. Try again. We do have the dwarves' shield. Oh, no, that's not the dwarves' shield. That's not the dwarves' shield. We may not have the dwarves' shield. Quite all right.
It was round.
It was. We'll give him a pickaxe. That's a cool shield.
Yeah.
And, let's see. You seem to be the axe thing.
The snake scepter needs to go to the snake guy, I would imagine.
You would think so. I think he's a manta ray.
Oh, is he a manta
Not
ray?
a snake.
Mm.
But it does have a cobra-ish look, so I'm gonna go with you on that one. You get a crossbow. And St. George shield, I think. Man down.
Ooh. Okay, that's cool. The ring wraith should be on
a horse.
Yeah. So even one of the newer ones, the highlights articulate.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay, I'll give you the big shield.
Now.
And the crossbow that fires stuff.
The shield?
Apparently.
Now, I think the center of that shield can be changed out with those.
Yes, it can.
Those are cool.
Bull shield. That one's fairly rare these days. So is the bat one. Very, very cool. All right, let's keep digging because apparently there's more darts.
You did it.
Goomies. There may be one enormous goom. Oh, it's a variety pack.
Oh. Berries
Nice.
and worms.
We shall be eating those while we train.
Train.
It's the glow in the dark ones, even.
Nice.
Yeah. I want that guy's shirt.
He does have a nice shirt.
WBC root beer, Chicago style. I may have to make a float out of this tonight. Caffeine free, gluten free. And we have this hover tech thing. Oh, that's tragic.
There's a word for it.
Will it fire a streamline? It will.
That's actually not bad.
Yeah.
It's serviceable. That one pinwheel.
A little bit. And a jolt! For the jolt vest. Good lord. Yeah. I'm getting the stink eye from the person who was put in charge of the dark bin.
And it wasn't me.
Alright. Well, that is fantastic. I look forward to doing the builds that involves that stuff. I look forward to adding all of this to my castle when I finally get that built, but that is currently after the shop. That will probably be more of a winter project since I won't, hopefully have this place done by then. And my attic gets a little bit in the sweltering side. So it'll be nice when it's a little bit cooler. Most excellent. You people are awesome. Send me the coolest stuff. I like that the fan mail's kind of slow at the moment, which is good because the place is a mess and I've nowhere to put anything yet. Stuff will just get tossed into the loft. All right. New mailing address is down in the description if you do want to send me stuff. I'm to the point where I can put stuff. Some stuff will just get tossed in the mountain. The rest will go up into the loft. But until I get it fully organized, do feel free to hold off. Lance is marveling at the glow-in-the-dark rival, or Vortex ammo, which is baffling. All right, I'm done. We're gonna go play tabletop games and eat trash. Run for it!